Okay, very good. We're ready to start the presentation. My name is Charles Owen. I want to welcome you all to the Paladin Biz Coach webinar series. Thanks you for attending today. My role here is I manage business development. I have all the relationships with suppliers and other companies, and occasionally I go to shows and I get to do webinars like this, and I help out with demos as well. Topic today is best practices for trade discounts. So what this presentation, the information that it provides, what it comes with, what it lures you in here, is it said the 80-20 rule that says 80% of your revenue comes from 20% of your customers. Trade discounts keep your customers coming back. There are a variety of ways to create discounts in Paladin, and I will share with you tips and the best ways to set up and manage trade discounts for your regular customers to make sure that 20% stays 100% happy. Cute. Bottom line is, what we're talking about here is making discounts consistent. It's not a good thing when you do not have when you're not doing things consistently with pricing. So hopefully that's what we're going to accomplish today. Move on to the next slide here. And I'm just going to make sure, can you see the best practices slide? Because I have two monitors here and I want to make sure that we can see. If you can just raise your hand and let me know. Don't raise your hand if you can't see the slide. Raise your hand if you can see the slide that says the best practices trade discounts. Okay, terrific. I see lots of hands. Thank you so much. Yeah, one time I went through this presentation about halfway through and I didn't realize I was showing the wrong screen. So I don't want to do that again. So the agenda here we're going to talk about the purpose of trade discounts, how trade discounts differ from promotional sales, and the many uses of trade discounts, all the different ways you can use them, how to set them up and activate trade discounts, and then the real meat and potatoes of this presentation is applying the best practices to trade discounts. This is not a presentation that's going to show you how to go in and turn on and activate and run through pricing plans and promotional sales in Paladin. We have a presentation on that. This one is really more focused on what types of best practices that you can apply around trade discounts. So it's still valuable. If you want to see exactly how to set up pricing plans and sale lists, go into the webinar under the Paladin customer portal in the webinar section and search for sales and or promotions. I think those are the two keywords that'll pick that up. So what is the purpose of pricing plans? Well, or trade discounts. One is they provide price consistency, as I mentioned. So you want to, you don't want somebody coming in and asking for Bob every time when they come in because they know Bob gives the steepest discounts. That's just not good for your business. Secondly, they attract more business-to-business partners. So if you set up pricing plans based on trades, trade discounts, you're going to connect with more business partners in town, and hopefully they'll be doing more of their shopping in your store. One big thing here is also increasing customer loyalty. Is an extremely important component of loyalty is giving something back to these people when they're shopping to your store. It's reciprocity, right? With reciprocity, they'll drive a little bit further. They'll, maybe drive another couple miles to get to your store, tolerate a little higher prices on some of the low-dollar items, and hopefully continue to come back to your store because they're waiting for that little bonus at the end of the receipt that they get, and they're also waiting for those and standing by for those discounts that you're going to provide to them on every invoice. All right. Also maintain profitability. So in our promotional discounts and trade discounts, as well as our customer loyalty points, those all have a checkbox that say maintain minimum margin. That's going to ensure that you maintain profitability even when you're giving a discount to these items. And then lastly, offer pricing flexibility. Pricing flexibility is being able to fine-tune discounts to a particular trade. For example, if you have you know, painting supplies and you want to set up pricing plans with painters, you might say, you know, I'll give you 15% margin over my cost on all painting supplies, but on all the other items in my store, I'll give you 5% off of their retail price. So you can offer kind of tight pricing, but also have that flexible to cover multiple items. All right, next, how trade discounts differ from promotional sales. You know, it's the same thing, really. There's only one thing in the pricing plans in Paladin that identify trade discount from a promotional sale. And in almost 100% of the cases, if you check the little box, apply to all transactions, it becomes a generalized pricing plan or promotional sale. However, there is an exception if you have a targeted promotional campaign that you're targeting a specific demographic of customer and you're interested in selling a certain product to that demographic, you can do things like call it a secret sale. You know, send them a postcard and have the front of the postcard go, shh, don't tell anybody, but just for you on this particular item on Saturday and Sunday, we have a promotional discount of 50% off, but nobody else gets this, just you. Well, then you can go in and set up a promotional sale, and you can tie it specifically to those individuals or businesses that come and shop in your store that weekend. That would be the case when you have a promotional campaign, sales campaign that is not applied across the board. You might want to apply it to a specific subset of customers. Otherwise, the trade discounts are not applied to all transactions. Trade discounts are applied to specific people, customers, individuals, and or companies that shop your business companies that shop your store. So what are the different uses and many uses of trade discounts? One is it lets you target specific business demographics, right? You can focus and segment your government, education, local businesses, trade workers, employees, owners, friends, etc. And what's nice also in Paladin is we have customer segmentation. So when you create a customer in your system, whether it be an account customer or a charge account customer or not, you can go in and identify what type of business this is that is buying from you. Are they do-it-yourselfers? Are they painters, electricians? Are they from the educational sector, the government sector? You know, it's really nice. You can go ahead and set that up and apply discounts to those specific segmentations. Also, offer profitable customized pricing plans. When I say profitable, that's when I'm referring to setting and checking that box that says maintain minimum margin. You can also, as far as customized goes, you can, as I mentioned, you can have a retail with a discount, you can have a cost with a markup, you can do mix and match, you can, jumping down to the next one, you can include or exclude certain items, suppliers, departments, classes, and subclasses of products. So that pretty much makes it as broad or as tight as you want. Other ways to use trade discounts is set renewal dates based on the customer's performance. You know, are they buying from you? Are they buying what they committed to buy from you when you negotiated this rate with them? Now you can set that up as a calendar date, or you can say a year from today, whatever day they start that discount. Let's say they're a new contractor in town. They say, hey, I'm coming in, I want to demand my 10% because I'm a contractor. Great, you can give it to them. You'll say, look, you know, we'll set you up, but we'll look at the next quarter, for example. Maybe you want to run it 3 months. We'll see how you perform in the next 3 months. If you're just giving me a little business here and there, we're gonna reduce that discount. But if you exceed that limit, we have room to grow the discount. And you can really play with that by having it automatically on whatever day you want, revert back to standard pricing and not a trade discount price. And of course that would alert them when they saw that invoice, and they'd run to the owner immediately and say, what's going on? I got a discount. Well, yeah, do you remember we had our conversation where we said if you buy a lot of products, we'll increase your discount. If you don't, we'll decrease your discount. Well, that's a good time for negotiating. And the next, you can also tie the trade discounts to prompt payment discounts. That's kind of a interesting concept. When they come in, the invoice says they're paying list price, but when they receive their statement, at the bottom of the statement says, hey, you qualified for this huge discount if you pay by a certain date. So you can actually tie a trade discount to a prompt payment discount, which is very, very powerful. So yeah, you get your discount as long as you pay me on time. But if you string me out, you know, I can't float that money for forever. So really good stuff for the different uses of trade discounts. So how do we set it up? How do we activate trade discounts? I said I was going to take you through this. I will bring up the Paladin system. I will show you where this is because there are a few things I want to reference. But just in general, what you do is on the File menu in Paladin, you click Setup and you click on Pricing Plans. That brings you into Pricing Plans. You add a new pricing plan. There's a little Add button there. You can set the parameters and optionally incorporate a sale list. So here's one thing to note. A lot of people don't know this, but a pricing plan will work independently of sale lists, meaning you can create a pricing plan that says, carte blanche, let's do 10% off everything in the store for everybody. Boom. That's pretty powerful. You can also do free for everybody. So you got to be real careful. Now, we do have warning pop-up boxes if you try to give away products to everybody, where it'll ask you, are you sure you want to do this, and apply it to everybody. The thing is, though, that sale lists are basically all it is a list of products. You can either have fixed pricing or not. You can have pricing that can be determined by the pricing plan. We'll get into that in a little bit. But a sale list will not function without being activated by a pricing plan. So just to let you know. So pricing plan is very powerful. It is the activator. It's the solution for setting up a sale. A sale list is just a set of products that could or may or may not be included in that sale. All right. So pricing the plan to a customer or applying the pricing plan to a customer. In the customer's module, in the customer's account, click Adjust Pricing Plans, F7, and you can go in and all of your pricing plans will show up. All those that haven't been checked apply to all customers or all accounts, and you can go ahead and one by one you can slide over each of those discounts and pricing plans. So you can have multiple per customer. Some might be employees, but they also might participate in trade discounts. They also might participate in other promotional sales that are specific to people. So you can set that up. Always here's a tip here, guys. Always test the pricing plan before the customer comes in and does it, because you'll want to find out and make sure it's working correctly. All right, applying the best practices. So this is the meat and potatoes. This is where these are the next 10 items that we talk about, 5 on this page, 5 on the next. Talk about different things that we can do to help trade discounts in our business. All right, help the trade discounts work with providing consistency in pricing, making sure they're profitable, and all the little nuances that you can do that can really streamline your operation and, quite frankly, the development of these pricing plans. So the first one, be deliberate and consistent when creating trade discounts. What do I mean by that? Well, again, consistent pricing discounts is extremely important. Being deliberate about what you want to do. So plan it out, write it out, figure out for each of the customer segmentations, what type of discount do you want to do? For example, we always start out with this one, right? Employees. Employees usually get a discount. Owners, they usually either get it for free or they pay cost. So these are different things that you can do, different pricing plans that you can create that provide consistency. All that has to happen to apply this pricing plan, the really cool thing is, all that has to happen is the customer comes in and the cashier tells the Paladin computer system who the customer is, and the pricing plan just gets applied right at that point. No ambiguity, it's real simple. There's no negotiating. There's no, oh, I want more 10% more off. Well, this is all I got. It's what the system says. You're kind of locked in, and that's a good excuse for the cashiers, or you can get the manager to negotiate, of course. Use the minimum margin checkbox. Another tip, this is something that if you've got certain items have lower margins, obviously, and some have real high margins. So what you might want to do is when you're setting up minimum margins, you can do it carte blanche across the store. You can say, set my min margin to 30%. That way, if anything's under 30%, don't give a discount. Anything over, go ahead and apply whatever appropriate discount based on how much over that 30% it is. There's also an opportunity to set up department level minimum margins, which are extremely important. So if you have timber, lumber, you have paint supplies or fasteners or different things that have more or less margin, you can reduce based on that department. You can reduce and bring down that threshold of minimum margin, so you're still offering a slight discount on those items, but you're not piercing that threshold of profitability. That's extremely important. Number 3, if the retail price changes frequently, use a percentage discount to set the sale list price to 0. What do I mean by this? Well, when you create a sale list, you have an opportunity to put a sale price in there. If you put a sale price, anything over 0 in there, that's what that item is going to sell for when it's applied to a pricing plan. Done. It's just you put a price in, it's going to sell for that amount. Few exceptions. One, if you put a 0 for a price, it's going to look at the pricing plan and look for any additional discounts given, either discounts or markups given in the pricing plan. So there's a place in there that says, all right, give 10%. If you put 0 for a price in the sale list and you put 10%, discount this pricing plan 10%, and discount that sale list 10%, it's going to look in the inventory at the retail price and give a 10% discount if it sees a 0 in the sale list. If there's any number other than a 0 and you put a discount of 10%, it's going to use that number and apply an additional 10% to it. It's pretty cool. It's very flexible that way. All right. So 4, use the sale list import feature. Don't hand key in a bunch of items into your sale list. That's very cumbersome and time consuming. If you have a list in an Excel spreadsheet, or you want to export data from Paladin into a spreadsheet and work on the sale price, you can import that in. All you need are 2 columns and a header. The header can say, on those 2 columns, can say anything you want. I normally just put, part number, price, or sale. And as long as there's a header of any type and you have 2 columns and you save that as a tab delimited file, it'll go ahead and import that directly into the sale list. So if you go in the sale list, there's a little import button. It's going to ask you to find the file, and once you do that, boom, it brings it all in. It's a beautiful thing. So just a little time saver there. Keep it clean. So it can get pretty cluttered in there under the pricing list, and you want to remove or reuse old pricing plans. So you can reassign dates to leverage that same material that you had, either the same sale list or the same set of departments or classes, subclasses, or suppliers. All right, number 6, moving on to the next slide. Select from the list to view pricing plans by type. That's pretty cryptic. What do we mean by that? Well, at the very top of the pricing plan, there's a little drop-down box. It's very subtle that nobody sees, and it says show regular sales, show instant savings sales, and show one other sales. So you can reduce it down. Those stores that have rewards programs that are coming through EDI, through their supplier, they could have literally hundreds of these things in there and just clutters everything up. And what you can do is you can choose to look at only the information that you want to look at. And I'll show you that. I'll actually go in to show you that because that's kind of a hard one. Number 7, easily sort pricing plans. Click the name So there's a header on top in this pricing plan. Just click name at the top, and it puts it in alphabetical order. You click name again, it'll put it in ascending or descending. That helps you find items quicker. Because there's no sort order to it, it just kind of goes in chronological order. But if you click on the name, it'll sort it by that. I believe it can also sort by ID number as well. All right, number 8. In the pricing plan tab, you can see all recipients of the pricing plan, which is really nice. So if you're in pricing plan, look down below that. There's a box that shows all of the customers that are applied to that pricing plan. Now you can do your maintenance, pricing plan maintenance right there, because you can remove these recipients from that pricing plan just by a click of a button right while you're there. Number 9, in the sale list tab, you can view the sale list with the associated pricing plan. So if you're in the sale list tab now and you look down below the sales, you'll see pricing plans, and you can see all the pricing plans that that particular sale list applies to. Again, when you're there, you can also create a new pricing plan when you add a new sale list. So you don't have to jump from the sale list to the pricing plan to add a new pricing plan. You can do it all right there from the sale list screen. These are just tips to help you, find it, make it easier to do what you need to do in creating pricing plans and sale lists and that sort of thing. Okay, number 10. So what if I want to report of all the pricing plans? How do I do this? There is no button there that says report. Probably will be after this webinar. But right now there isn't. So at this time, you just bring up Excel and you go into data sources, other data sources, and you click on ODBC, and at the point you can see the Paladin connector, and click on Paladin, and it exposes all the Paladin tables. Everybody has access to this. If you don't, call customer service, but it's only from terminal number 1, your main terminal. When you're there, you can then click on pricing plan and select all the fields in pricing plan and bring that right to an Excel spreadsheet, so you can have all your pricing plans right there. You can do the same with sale list as well. So just another way if you wanted to see and better organize all your pricing plans, you can export that information into a spreadsheet. All right. There are a number of articles that are on this subject, and also webinars as well. So on the very bottom there says webinar, customer pricing plans. So you go into customer pricing plans, there's a webinar on how to create pricing plans. And then we have several articles about pricing plans and sale lists, how to add or remove pricing plans to a customer account, and so on. So these are all live and interactive links, but unfortunately you don't have the presentation, but you can download it. As a matter of fact, this webinar and this presentation will be pushed up to the Paladin website, so you can see this information. I will now, if you want to see this real quick, because I've still got several of you here, let's go ahead and bring up the Paladin system, and I can show you a few of the things that we were talking about. So I'm bringing up, I went to File, Setup, and then under File Setup we have Pricing Plan right here. So right under Pricing Plan is the Apply to All Transactions. When you apply to all transactions, that turns it into everybody gets this. It's no longer a trade discount. It's a discount for everybody. It's a basic promotion. I have got a pricing plan that I created called Brogan Plan 1 and Brogan Plan 2. And what they do is Brogan Plan 1 covers a range of departments. And if I expand this a little bit, we can see that I'm giving 10% off of retail for those departments. And then Brogan Plan 2 covers every department greater than 70. And again, it's another 10%. So what that's telling me is that I have department number 69 is not covered in the sale list, meaning department number 69 is lumber. So this person gets a discount on everything in the store of 10% except lumber, doesn't get a dime off of. So just the different things that you can do in creating pricing plans for individuals. There's also another button down here that says Respect Minimum Margin. That's the button that we can set to lock in that minimum margin, and it refers to either, if you go to the Minimum Margin tab, you can be that 30, which I put in there for across the board, or you can get very specific in the department tab. You can set up department level minimum margins. You can see over here I haven't done that, but you can change that -1 to, to a certain number here. You say, yeah, for this department, I want my, housewares to be a minimum of 50% margin. So different ways to do things in Paladin. I hope this has been helpful. If anybody has any questions, feel free to shoot a question over here, or I can unmute you if you like. Just shoot me a question, say please unmute me, and you can ask questions. I don't see any questions at this point. Hopefully this was informative. And again, if you need to reference this material, you can feel free to go to the website in a couple days under Paladin Support, and you can see this presentation. Thank you all for your attention, for your time today. Hope this was helpful. Take care.